I want to share with you 12 brands to check out if you need a system that's going to help you prioritize taking care of you. Okay, so these are going to be in no particular order. First, I want to talk about Simple Self Co. They have a planner that is literally called the Self-Care Planner. Let me see if I could find it real quick. They have two different versions. They have the daily planner version, which is the one that I've personally used myself. I think I used it for like 6 months or so. And it has pages in the front. I'll show you this page right here. It shows you multiple different pages that it has in the front to do like a self-care assessment, building a self-care map, all kinds of stuff to help you, wrap your head around how you want to take care of yourself. And then the daily pages for this planner, they have sections like right here for self-care and a spot at the top to write what you're grateful for, your goal. It's really easy, simple, to-do section, your timed section, notes, a spot to list breakfast, lunch, dinner, water. They do have another version, which is a weekly planner. And I have a full review of that one on my channel that I did several years ago. It looks a little bit different than it did in that video. So it looks like instead of, I think it used to have like a to-do and work. And now it's got the section for like gratitude, 3 gratitudes and a self-care for each day. But there should be another spread here. So yeah, this one, it's kind of like you have 2 spreads for the week. So you have the spread that you use for your calendar, and then you've got this kind of master section that you can list. This one says personal, let me click on this, personal priorities at the top, work priorities, and you got 3 for each, and then just to-do lists. And then you can do your log your hours of sleep, log your mood, habits, notes, and on this side you can do your meals and your movement. So it really is a entire planner that literally every single page refers to self-care. So it's one of those things that if you really need a lot of reminders and you want like all these things, this one's probably the one that I would recommend the most. Okay, next planner I want to talk about, and these are in no particular order, is Plan Bold. I have never had my hands on one of these, but I know that the layouts have lots of like prompts, and I want to say it does have a section for like meals. So if we go to the story behind Plan Bold, she says here that she created Plan Bold because she knew that planning both your life and your health isn't just about staying organized, it's about staying grounded. So it was basically geared towards moms. So if you are a mom, this is something that, basically was made for you. I'm a mom, I have 4 kids. And let me show you what their planner looks like. She has undated versions. I don't see any dated versions right now. So I wonder if she either sold out, but let me see if I can show you what this looks like. She has 2 different layouts. So this one is the vertical. Okay, so here's what, I don't know why it's like so big. Let me see if I zoom right here. There we go. That might help a little bit. So this is the horizontal layout. She also has a vertical layout, but I want to say this is the one that she started with. The horizontal was the one that she started with first. And you can see it's blank. There's no lines in here. There is like a to-do column and there's a goal section. It's primarily like a Monday through Friday situation, and then Saturday and Sunday kind of are squeezed here in the bottom. But you do have 2 pages per week. So you will have this section here on the next page for meals and workouts. And this is where it kind of connects the dots between like your schedule and taking care of your health and wellness, prioritizing yourself, right? So if you need that, if you want something that's pretty much inescapable, because every time you turn the page, you're going to see the section that reminds you need to plan out your workouts, you need to plan out your meals. This is something you want to check out. There's a section for notes, a spot for thankful for, don't forget, and then you have an accountability tracker here to keep track of when you're doing your workouts, the days that you're drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, and you're eating good. The vertical layout looks a little bit different. I think it's just the the actual layout that looks different, not the rest of the pages. So here is what the vertical layout looks like. It's lined and every day has the same amount of space. So the planner overall size, I want to say, let's see. Yeah, they're 7x9 planners. So I want to guess that the width of these columns is probably 1.5 inches. And it's lined at the bottom. You do have a section for like 4 boxes, which probably could be breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, if that's what you wanted to track there. Because technically on this side, on this page, you only really have a little bit of room to write down your meals, which I would probably plan out dinners because those are the meals that I'm preparing for the entire family. And on the days here, you have the space to kind of dive further into that. So it just really is a preference. There should be other reviews out there. I know lots of planners who have reviewed this and they've done like pen tests and stuff. So the quality of this planner, according to them, is pretty good. So check that out. Next, we have Hemlock Oak, and this is a brand that I have reviewed a few times on my channel. I want to say I first got something from them in 2023, and the reason why I like this brand for self-care is because of the pages that are in the beginning of the planner. So they have lots of different versions. So if you don't want all the planning pages like in the front, and you don't want like reflections and that kind of stuff, you can get their minimalist version of the planner. And that's going to like reduce a lot of that stuff for you. But if you want like the full on experience, because you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and you're prioritizing the things that matter most to you, then you should go with their regular one. So I'm going to show you their weekly. It's a layout that's very similar to the week in a Hobonichi Cousin. That's like a really popular planner. These pages though are a lot thicker, and this is a Canadian company, so they are made in Canada and they prioritize like sustainability. So if that's important to you, this is a great brand to check out. Let's see. So the pages in the front, hold on, here's what it shows you first. So here's the week layout. Let me click here so it can be a little bit bigger. So this is what the layout looks like. And like I said, it kind of looks like a Hobonichi week, like the version in the week. And if you can, let's see if I can zoom in closer. Right here along the bottom, after the 10 o'clock hour, there's this little heart, which is meant to be your self-care for that day. So that's why I have this one basically in here, because it literally is built in to every single day of this planner. On the side, you've got like a focus, you have intentions and a to-do list, but the pages in the front of this planner have a lot of prompts for you to do. It looks like, here we go. I don't know why, but it doesn't look like it's showing the planner pages in the very front. Not in these pictures. Let me see if I can find it. They did come out with maybe they just don't show it on their website. Yep, it's not showing it on their website. But there are pages in the very beginning of the planner. Here's a horizontal version of the planner in case you are not a vertical. You can get like the horizontal version of it. I will say, if you click this like download section, you can download the full planner to print on your own. So if you want to try this out at home, you can do that, which it's very generous of them to do that and offer that, because it's, they easily could charge for this, but they don't. I don't think that the prep pages that I was trying to find are going to be in any of these download files. So you'll have to find another video reviewing it. I know Amanda's Favorites has reviewed this multiple times, and Hand Can Plan has reviewed it. So you can see from one of those videos. I have reviewed their planners, but the two planners that I have reviewed, one's the minimalist version, so it doesn't have those as many of those front pages. And the other version was their daily planner, which their daily duo. And that one, it doesn't have the same pages in the front either. It just kind of eliminates it because the planner is just so thick because there's so many. One of the things though that they came out with for 2026 is their 2026 weekly and daily combination, and they're using a different paper in order to make it all fit into one book. So if you like the idea of the Hobonichi Cousin where you have the weeks and you have the days all in one book, but you do not like the Tomoe River paper, this would be a great option. The paper GSM is 70 in this one, so it's a lot less. It's like less. What am I trying to say? It's not their like normal GSM, which I think is like 120 in their other planners, but it's also not as little GSM as the Tomoe River paper. I want to say Tomoe River paper is like 50 something GSM, and they say that this 70 GSM paper is still fountain pen friendly. So I know there's a lot of people in the Hobonichi community who like using their fountain pens in their planners, and they kind of might be curious to know if you can do that here, and you can. So this is another great option if you want to have a little bit of, like, if you're not heavy into goals, but the goals that you do have are to focus on taking care of yourself and that kind of thing, this would be a great option for you as well. Next is Pen and Pillar, and I do have a review. I think I might have taken it down because they did temporarily stop selling directly to the public, and they partnered with Cambridge and sold through like Target, but they just came back for 2026 with a planner, probably because their customer base was like, that's not the same. And their planners, let's see, are really good quality. I did some testing, and I actually used some of their notebooks when they were selling notebooks as a journal, and writing on their paper is really nice. It's kind of like an off-white paper though. It's not, it's not like yellow, but just to know. And let's see if I can show you a page. So every month, like right here, you have monthly habit trackers here. And then you also actually on this side, I'm noticing they have a section for meal ideas. So I'm just trying to point out the parts that are going to help you with prioritizing taking care of yourself. So the layout for the week is basically kind of like a dashboard layout, or you have the week all on one side. You would have to be okay with the fact that Saturday and Sunday are kind of squeezed in the bottom, but every day you have enough space for like 6 bullet points for Monday through Friday. But then on this side, you do have a section to list out like your priorities and a little box to indicate the best parts of the week. And it does have tabs. It used to not have tabs, so I find that interesting that they added that this year. But this is a good option for anybody who wants to like prioritize taking care of themselves, because it has the habit trackers and a section for meal ideas. And this is actually a really affordable option. It's only, let's see, it's $40, but look, it's showing you right now 20% off with code PLAN20. I wonder if it shows you the specs. Oh, it is a 7x9 planner. I was trying to see in the specs if it told me what kind of paper it was, but it is good paper. So check that brand out. Next is MakseLife, and MakseLife is a brand that I used their goal setting system a few times. I'm currently not in their system, like using one of their planners to map out my goals the way MakseLife, has you doing it. But I know it sounds like a goal setting system probably isn't something that would be based in self-care, but the founder of MakseLife, Sierra, is a certified life coach. So the MakseLife system, as it says here, it's a guide for purposeful living. So it really is a great way for you to kind of map out all the areas of your life and regularly check in with them. So it's not just other goal setting systems where you might just list out a bunch of things that probably are heavily focused on productivity. And this one forces you to regularly check in with what's going on with your like family and relationships and your health and wellness, your personal growth and spirituality. So it really is like an all-inclusive system, and you have to do weekly reflections. And I really think it's a great system for somebody who wants to like learn how to prioritize taking care of themselves, but also has some kind of goals with maybe taking care of the house. If you're a mom, this would be a good one for you, because I think initially if you're a burnt out mom, you probably would do what Sierra refers to as maintenance goals. And these are the habits and things that you start working on to basically build yourself back up from being in like survival mode. So these are things that are going to fill your cup. They're going to refuel you. And then once you've reached a point of, feeling better because you are focusing on those maintenance goals, then you can jump into adding some other goals that you might have. But there are two options. Well, technically there's like three options. So you can get a full-on planner, but you also could get their companion notebooks. And then if you get their full-on planner, there are two layouts to choose from. You can either get the weekly layout. Let's see if it'll show them both here. Okay, here you go. On one page. Here's what the weekly layout looks like. And here is what the horizontal layout looks like. Now, I have tried both. I tried the vertical layout. I think that was the first one I tried, but I was using it not like a weekly planner, but I was using it like a daily planner, so that every day I was going in here and listing out like my to-dos for the day. And I think I did that for about 6 months, and then I ended up putting it aside, and then I jumped back into the MakseLife system about 6 months later, but this time in a companion notebook system, which I'll show you in a minute. And then I did away with it for a little while, and then I went back to it using this layout in the weekly so that I can do daily journaling. And both of these layouts have habit trackers on it. And then there's also, it's kind of hard to see, there are these little, they look like dots to you on the screen, but they are little compasses, like little wheels. Let's see if I can find a bigger picture of their wheel. It looks kind of like this, but it doesn't have all the numbers in it. And that's supposed to be a spot for you to write down like a gratitude for the day or something like that. You could easily use this section to list out like a self-care that you're going to do for that day, or, whatever. But I think initially that's what it's supposed to be for. It's supposed to be for every day at the end of the day, write down a gratitude. So let me show you. Let's see. I do have other videos on my channel about MakseLife. So if you want like a more in depth, let me show you the companion notebooks. So these are meant to go alongside your existing planner. So if you already have a planner that you like, you can get one of these. These are, okay, it's showing you in this picture the page for the monthly goals and the weekly actions, and then some monthly reflection pages, and that's all it's showing you. So pretty much it just has the spot for the weekly actions, and then when you turn the page, you can kind of see right here, you can kind of see right here the little dots. And that's what's going to be on the back of this weekly actions. And that's where you're going to write out your reflections for the week when the week is over. And reflections are basically like answering prompts like what your wins were, what worked, what didn't work, your lessons that you learned, and then adjustments that you want to make moving forward. So I've used that system. You can check out videos about that if you want more details or more examples of how to use that. But MakseLife as a whole is, I think, a great system for somebody who wants to prioritize themselves, but they don't want their planner to have a bunch of things in it that say meals, self-care, that kind of stuff. So that's a great option. Okay, next we have Shelly, and let's see what her planners look like. Her planners, she has a section in her planner that is unique. It's kind of like a reflection page that has a lot of stuff related to taking care of yourself. So you can see right here, this page, there's this whole section here. It says self-care activities and items. The rest of these prompts, what are you grateful for right now? What are you worried or stressed about? What can you do to remove your stress? What creates happiness in your life that you want to do more of this month? What are you going to say no to this month? Imagine your month ahead and write a few words that describe how you want to feel this month. And then you can pick a word of the month, and you have a little section here for monthly goals. So this is something that I really like because it's perfect for people who just want a little bit of guidance and they don't want to think too hard about it. I think this is the only page. I don't think there's any other prep work in the beginning of this planner. I do have one of these because I want it, and I did film a video, but it hasn't been uploaded yet. So on the week, and this is the layout that I have, is the horizontal layout. Let me see if it'll let me. The horizontal layout. They also have a vertical. I'll show you that in a second. But you have a spot every week up here for you to write your monthly word. So it's a great spot you're constantly being reminded that this is something that you wanted to be your word. And then down here on the Sunday box, it always has this at the top of the to-do list to check in with your creative spread. So it's constantly reminding you to go back. And the creative spread is the one that I showed you right here. This one right here. Okay, let me show you what the vertical looks like. Planners. Here's a vertical. So this one looks like this. And her planners, the size of her planners, they're not 7x9. They're a little smaller than that. So I'm not sure how wide these boxes are. But as you can see, Saturday and Sunday are staggered here. You still have the little reminder to check in with your creative spread on Sundays, but this layout is a little bit different. So if this is something that will work better for your brain, then this is the option that you would want to pick. And let me see if I can get the pages themselves are only 6x9, but the entire planner, if you measure it like with the cover on the outside, because they're kind of hard covers, it's 7.25 by 9.25. And the paper is nice. It's nice paper. It's 80 pound paper. She has other items. She has some journaling things. She has on the Daily Peace Journal. So I would check her out. She's definitely rooted in taking care of yourself. If you go to her about page to learn more about her, it says here that she saw a need for a planner that included a calendar for scheduling and to-do list with a mixture of inspirational planning. She basically wanted something that was more than just your schedule and that it has to include heart. So a brand that is definitely rooted in taking care of yourself. Next is Archer and Olive. And Archer and Olive is known in like the journaling community because most of the notebooks that they have are undated and they're just notebooks, dot grid notebooks. But she does have some options that are planners. I'm trying to find her about page. our mission and story. Because Archer and Olive, I know, was founded. See, it was founded after she received her diagnosis of being bipolar and having general anxiety disorder. She says that she struggled every day with her mental health. So paired with doctor prescribed therapy, she intentional creation through art and journaling enabled her to reduce her anxiety and feel more in control of her mental health. So after she experienced that, she decided to set out to share the whole art of creating and art and journaling with other people. And so that's how Archer and Olive was born. Hence the reason they're listed here in this video among other like self-care rooted brands because of that right there. So if I show you, let me show you their planners, and then if you want to check out their journals, you can. But this is one of their dated planners. That's a coil, and I think I reviewed one like this. And they also, you can get it in an option where it's not coiled, but I reviewed this a few years ago, and I think it's the same pages on the inside. Let me see, like with the prompts. Wait, that one's a video. It doesn't show me anything else. So it just shows me, that's funny. It only shows me like a little video of the pages in here. And it looks a little different. I think it's different than what I reviewed. This is really a pretty cover. Let me see. Planners. I think they might have did away with the one I reviewed. They used to have one that was like a wellness planner, but I think they did away with it. It must have not did very well. But if you do want a planner, there's a dated planner. That's a dated planner. These are undated. If you want to support a company that, is focusing on that, you can get, none of the pages, it looks like, actually say anything about self-care and all that, but so it's totally like up to you what you add to the planner. So this would be a good option if you are more of a journaler, like a bullet journal style person, and where you want to draw in your own thing. You can do that. You can just get a regular notebook from them, and she has multiple different notebook sizes. Yeah, I think her mission and her reason for starting her company is a great one to support. Next, we have Bloom Daily Planners, and let's see, if I go to About Bloom, I know that they give back. It says, Bloom Daily Planners is more than just colored ink on paper. We're committed to helping others bloom into the best versions of themselves through the power of organization. We're creating a community of like-minded individuals supporting each other to achieve their goals and live a more positive, productive, and happy life. So one of their missions is, when you buy one, they give one. So it says every Bloom purchase supports what they call the capstone of our give back line, our empowerment planners. These are 100% free planners created for women in need. And then they also have a section here that talks about Bloom provides additional annual direct financial support to various charities. So let me click on this right here, because this, I think it's interesting. So here's the thing about the planner. So the empowerment planners, so they co-created these planners with this foundation. I'm not even going to try and say that word. It says these are custom made planners jam-packed with custom resources, 100% donated to women either in or recently transitioning from prison. And then it gives you some stats about, it says women in jail are the fastest growing recreational population in the country, increasing 14-fold in recent years. 43% of women in prison have been physically abused and 39% have been sexually abused. Without resources to heal the hurt behind their bad choices, many women stay stuck in a destructive cycle of crime and incarceration. When given a second chance with resources or programs, like the one that this foundation gives, that give them hope, recidivism, what's this word? Look it up. The tendency to convict of a convicted criminal to reoffend. I figured that's what it meant, but I could not pronounce this word. And this is not helping me trying to figure out. This is supposed to help me pronounce this. Yeah, no. The rates can drop more than 70%. Okay, incarcerated women are often at the end of a long, difficult road, feeling rejected, worthless, and hopeless. Many are mothers. These planners were co-created with love to inspire and empower these women and let them know they are capable of a fresh start. I think that is like such a great mission because, you know, it's a part of the population that I think definitely goes unnoticed. Like nobody gives a crap about them. So it's nice that this company is doing that. So if that's something that you want to support, let me show you let me see if I can find a planner. I know they have lots of different options. Most of these planners are bigger in size. They're like 8.5 by 11 standard notebook paper. And they're ultimate planners. I know that they have pages in the beginning of the planner. See, some life coach pages. In the beginning, there's like all of this stuff. And that's just this specific planner. Some of the pages look different in the other planners, I'm sure. But I think primarily this is what you can expect in most of their planners in the beginning pages of it. See some habit tracking, a spot to list out why you love yourself, when you feel your best, a joy list, lots of things to help you focus on yourself. And let me see if it'll show me this specific planner, like what the week looks like here. See, this one specifically has water cups every day so you can track your water. And then there's a section down here for healthy habits. So I would definitely check them out. I know that these planners are pretty affordable. See, this one's $26.95. The paper in this is not as great as other brands that I've mentioned so far, but the price is reflected in the what am I saying? The price of the planner reflects that. That's what I'm trying to say. So don't expect really high quality. I know I've purchased one of these planners before, not this specific one, but I've purchased a planner for my daughter once. It was like, I think, an academic version. I don't know that I see that on here now. But I think at one point they used to have like an academic planner. And I remember getting that for my daughter once to check out. So this is one of those brands that I think you should check out if you don't want to spend as much, and if you don't mind having like a bigger planner, or if you need a bigger like 8.5 by 11 planner. Okay, here is another brand. This one is St. Belford. They are based in Australia, but they do have a warehouse in the United States now. Their main planner is called Curation, and I think they have two versions of it. One has like all the prep pages, and then the other has a little bit less, sort of like how Hemlock Oak had the minimalist version. So I'll show you. I think I purchased one that was undated, and I have a review somewhere on my channel. If I click compare, oh cool, it shows me a video, and then I have like a little cheat sheet down here. It tells me how many pages are in it. So I think the mini, and it shows you how thick these are compared to each other. I want to say the one that I had, the mini, was definitely like, it was like that. The original is 288 pages. They use 100 GSM paper. It looks like you probably have the same worksheets in the beginning of the planner, but I think what makes it different is, where are the checkboxes? Pre-week planner. That's this page. So it's just a matter of whether you want this page in your planner or not. So if you don't want this page, then you can just get the mini version and it won't have this. But basically every week you have this page, and then when you turn it, it'll be your week view. And I'll show you what the week view in this looks like in a minute. So you do have a section for your gratitude reflection up here for 3 gratitudes, and you have a drawing board. And then over here you have like a planner to map out things that you want to do. So you could use this for many different things. You can use it. It tells you right here. Actually, no, that doesn't. This says something: pay it forward, brighten a stranger's day by paying for their food or drink. This must change every day. It's a little light bulb, like an idea. So I've seen these filled out with like menu for the week. You can do breakfast, lunch, dinner if you want to totally use this for just food, but you could do for like workouts on this column, your meals on this column, maybe a self-care activity on this column. I don't know. You can use this in so many different ways. Up here, you have a spot for listing out the priorities for the week. It says, what are the most important tasks you want to complete? What small steps can you take to support your goals and intentions? Schedule these tasks into your week. And let me see if I can show you, if I can get out of here. Oh, that's because it popped up another page. Let me go shop planners. And if I click on, let me click on this one. This is their original weekly planner. Show you what the week looks like. So this is what the week looks like. And every day there's like that little heart with, I can't zoom. It's probably better for me to do like this. That little heart right here is supposed to be your self-care for the day. And then you've got your habit tracker up at the top, a spot for notes and reminders. So that's what you have every week. And then when you turn the page, you'll have the this page. I think I'll show you a sample for this one too. See, this one they did a workout, dinner, and a daily win. That's a cool idea for how to use this. And then on this side, you see they just kind of made a list of personal things, work.
Here's a quick walkthrough of the original curation.
There's a video. So if you want to check that out, you can. They have a channel, so you can just directly get stuff from them. They also have, and let me see. They have journals, because why did I click planners? I need to go to shop all. I don't think they have their planners on here. I mean journals. They used to have journals. Here we go. This journal. I have a review on this journal too, because I got this at the same time. And I don't think you're going to see very much in here, but I would check this out. Look, it shows you right here where their warehouse is in the States, a Missouri warehouse. So this page says self-care checklist. So yeah, I would definitely check out St. Belford. It's one of those brands that I don't think very many people know about. And if I go to, let's see if I can go to her about. Alex and Tom. It says their mission is to provide you with tools and resources that empower you to curate a fulfilled life without compromising your well-being. So that is why they are in this list. It says, we believe that your well-being is your most precious asset, and making it a number one priority is the best investment you will make. Because when you have the right mindset and tools, you can unleash the most vibrant and brilliant version of yourself. That's why we reinvented the planner and added over a dozen lifestyle tools so you can focus on self-care and personal growth one day at a time. So check out St. Belford. Okay, this one is actually more of a journal, but it could technically probably be used like a planner if you wanted it to. So let me click over. Oh, I'm already on their like mission page. So JMB Living is run by a female team that seeks to uplift and empower voices. They're dedicated to using their platform to support, educate, ally, and love our community as we continue our own journey of growth. JMB stands for joy, mindfulness, and balance. It says, we understand that for many women, especially those struggling to make ends meet, finding time for self-care can be a real challenge. JMB Living is on a mission to uplift and empower all women to find more joy and balance by integrating mindfulness into their busy lives. In support of their mission to make mindfulness more accessible to all, they donate 25% of the journals that have made it into the hands of women. They provide journals to women organizations and shelters, including Dress for Success and a chronic pain support group, as well as send journals to individual women struggling with loss of jobs due to COVID, cancer, lost loved ones, and more. It says the JMB Living Journal is here to help you live your ideal life in a more joyful, mindful, and balanced way. It used to be dated, and now it's just seasonal. So you can pick which season you want it to be for, and it'll be for that season. So I want to say we're in winter right now. So it would be the winter. If you got the winter book, it would be for the months of, I think, January, February, March. That's what it's supposed to be for. So now that it's undated, I don't know if it's going to say those months like January, February, March on the calendar pages, because it does have calendar pages. It just won't be dated. Let me click on it and show you. Okay, no, it doesn't have the date listed on here. So you can basically pretty much use it whatever months that you want to use it for. But this is what the layout looks like. This is only showing you one side of it though. When on the other side of this page, it won't have this whole column here. It'll have 2 sections of this, but this is something that's there every week. So every week you have this section for you to spot. There's always something here that's written down, a challenge of some kind. And then there's a weekly affirmation a spot for you to write it. And then you're supposed to repeat it every day. And then you have a spot for your intentions for the week. What your dreams, your self-care, say yes, say no. And then over here, you have a spot for the date, gratitude, and then what you want to like do that day. So you can use this as like a to-do list for the day. You could use this as just something you want to journal, a space for that. You can use it how you want. So that's why I said you could probably use this as a planner, because it says right here, it's not just a journal, it's a planner. There are pages in the beginning that are supposed to, let me see, here's like a vision page, but it's not showing you all the pages. I do have some reviews on my channel, but just note that she used to have it to where you had a page every single day, and then she changed it. I guess the feedback was people felt like that was too much per day. So she condensed it. So each day was kind of, you only had like one column. And the pages though, I think in the front of the planner might have changed a little bit. So I just keep that in mind. If you go watch any of that, it'll probably be in a playlist that I have for like journals. So this is a good company to support. This would actually make a great gift for someone who you know is into mindfulness, that kind of stuff. It would be something that they might like. You also can get a digital version of it as well. Okay, we are almost done. We've got 2 more. This planner brand is called Planner Perfect. And I actually didn't know that this was kind of like rooted in taking care of yourself until I was getting ready to prep for this video. This is a brand that I have not personally purchased from, but I have heard a lot of great things about. And let me see if I can find a page about their story, because this is where I was like, okay, this is definitely something that's supposed to help you take care of you, especially if you're a mom. So it says that a lot of women, especially moms, forget who they are. They confuse their role as their calling and plan in a way that only considers the tasks at hand. Uninspiring and lost, women keep going, serving others, tracking progress of tasks completed, and living only a small percent of what they're worth and what they're capable of. It's time to write a better story, to take your life back and take your place as author and creator of your life. This method is life-changing, and my planners are set up as a tool that inspires you to create, become a visionary, and map a life you love. So there is a method of this planner that you would have to look into. She has a YouTube channel that has videos that you can check out. This is like on their website. You can watch this on YouTube. Pretty much it's almost like a traveler's notebook system. And there are a few different ways that you can purchase the planners. You can get them in a sub box, which is probably the cheapest way to try it out. And I know that Amanda's Favorites has a discount code. So if you want to check out her channel and see what her most recent video is that she talks about Planner Perfect. I know she's used this system in the past and tested it out for herself. So she has a lot of videos on her channel about it. But from my understanding of it, the sub box is one of the best like ways to just try it out. You can either get it with the monthly planner and a journal, or you can just get it with the journal or just the monthly planner, just depending on what you need. I would check them out. Let's see if I can show you, if it'll show me pictures on her site. It doesn't really show you anything about like the layout on the inside. It just shows you what the box looks like here. Let's see if I just go to a planner, 12-month planner. That's cute artwork. It does not show you a picture on the inside, unfortunately. I do not like it when planner brands don't put a picture in here. So you're gonna have to find a different video that dives into it. This one's just a monthly planner. The other one I was just looking at was like a whole 12 months. See, 12-month planners. And then this one's just like the month planner and journal sets. Yeah, none of them. And I think the artwork on these are like, I think she's an artist and she designs the art. I might be wrong. But if you're interested in doing something like a journaling type planning system, this is the one that you can check out. And it's like a traveler's notebook system where you have all the notebooks together inside a, what's it called? Like a notebook like this, which you don't have to use theirs. And you actually don't even have to condense it into here. You can just walk around with the journal like this or have it at home. Ooh, what is this? Perfect quarterly planner, A5 size. I didn't know she had these. This is new. When did she come out with this? Quarterly planners are here. Wait, I gotta click on this.
The 2026 quarterly planner.
Oh, it's from 2026.
Are here, and I cannot wait to show you.
Let's
see.
see.
You have your beautiful front cover page. You have also, can I just say, this is a nice soft touch cover. Very bold, very heavy. You're gonna love its durability. Get started on setting goals, on all of that. You can look at my playlist and you'll see how to do this in a way that really helps you succeed and nail your goals.
Looks like they're 3 months.
It all goes all the way down together. It's gorgeous. Very, very, the way my Planner Perfect method is set up. So here you've got a new calendar month, which is February. Everything is
this is interesting.
And all the way through here.
I actually like the idea of this bundle, but holy smokes, guys, $280 for all 4 quarters. Yee, that's a lot of money. And if you just get 1 quarter, it's $75. But oh my gosh. Yeah. So if you are not stressed for funds, then you can check this out. Her leather, she has leathers that you can actually buy that pair with the normal notebooks, not the quarterly ones that she just came out with, because you'd have to that would be way too thick to try and get all those in there. But you can see here on the side how the rubber band goes through each notebook and they kind of are housed all together. So her leather stuff, it'll fit. But I'm sure you could probably use other sized traveler's notebooks as long as it's the same size that fits her journals. Which, let me see if I can tell you what size her journals are. I want to say they're just A5 size. Let's see. There are no extra details. There are no extra details here. Well, that's not good. You'll have to check out Amanda's video, one of her videos, to get more details about it, guys. Sorry. I was not prepared for that. And I was not prepared for that new item. That's interesting. But it kind of makes sense because I know book-bound planners are becoming popular. So the last one I have for you is actually Traveler's Company, which is the OG original brand that came out with the Traveler's Notebook system. And the only reason this is on this list is because I recently found out the mission behind this company and why it got started. I watched a video, I think it's on JetPens YouTube channel, where they interviewed the founder, and the story is great. Let me see if I can find it here. Okay, so it says here that he used to enjoy being by himself. Instead of spending time with others, he would enjoy reading books and listening to music. He had difficulty dealing with people, and he had this uneasy feeling as if he felt like he was in the wrong place. One day he found a notebook, and this notebook takes a simple form, but kind of gave him a sense of freedom. As I started customizing the notebook by adding charms and stickers, I started to love the notebook, even more to the level where I brought it with me everywhere I went. I wrote down anything that came to my mind, things that I enjoyed, things that moved me emotionally, images that came to my mind, my future dreams, and stories that came from my soul. I even drew pictures in the notebook. The pictures ended up being somewhat distorted, but they kind of represented my personality, and I personally felt satisfied. I felt that this notebook takes on my incompleteness as a person. This notebook taught me that the most important thing in life is to be yourself and to communicate with yourself sincerely. So questions: what do I really like the most? What do I feel excited? When do I feel excited? What kind of significance can I give to past events that I experienced? Where am I and where am I heading? Those questions ran through my mind, but in the end, I realized that doing things that I love, being an expert on things I'm good at, is the most important aspect. I felt like I received a guide to the path I should pursue. In the journey that I decided to immerse myself in, I met people that are proud and passionate of their jobs, and this moved me emotionally. I felt like the product I'm making can move somebody's heart. But I would definitely check out the YouTube video from JetPens, because in that video he did a better job of explaining the story behind it. And like that just made me like, oh my gosh, like I want to buy from them, but I know that I'm not somebody who could use this system. But the way the Traveler's Notebook system works, let me see if I can find, 2026 diary. So they're just little booklets. This one is the vertical version of it. Let's see. It's showing some of the pages. Except okay, here's what the layout looks like for the week. So these notebooks, let's see if it tells me a size. The size of the notebook, so traveler size notebook is supposed to be 8.5 inches by 4.3 inches. And they're just like these really thin notebooks. And this one says each notebook is 6 months. So this set, if you buy, it's 2 notebooks. So you'll have, this is what your like the week view looks like. And you can see it has the dates. And I know this doesn't have any like self-care stuff like on here. So this is one of those things where if you do want to take care of yourself, it's not the planner itself that has like prompts and stuff to do it. It's the whole company as a whole that I wanted to introduce you to and understand that they were rooted. That's kind of rooted in that. It's rooted in, having a notebook, and you have different, let me see, Traveler's Notebook. You have different, these are just the thing on the outside. Passport size. Okay, here's the refills. That's what they call them. So you have the different notebooks that go into the whole system, and so you can pick and choose like what you want to be in it. So you can have, some of these notebooks are grid, lined, blank probably would be really good for sketching and doodling, and then you basically can do whatever the heck you want with it. So if you are someone kind of like him, and you kind of can use it as, I guess, an alternative to scrolling on your phone all the time. If you find yourself always in places where you need to wait, you can have your little traveler's notebook out and a pen with you, and you can just scribble and journal in there and use that to kind of declutter and to decompress and express creativity. And I think those are all things that are beneficial to us, and they help us, actually reduce stress. Like our body has a response to participating in those sorts of activities. But I wanted you to know that, like, I did not know. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of Traveler's Company and you just didn't know the story and didn't know that basically is kind of rooted in this self-care space. Like it's just it's kind of cool. So that was it. That was all 12 companies that I think you should check out if you want to prioritize taking care of yourself in 2026. Let me know in the comments if you have purchased from these brands, if they have in fact helped you to do a better job of taking care of yourself. And also let me know if any of these brands are something that you didn't know. I do have some affiliate links. I think only 2 of them though. I think I am an affiliate. I know I'm an affiliate for Hemlock and Oak, so I can leave you my link and my code in the description if you want to shop from them. And then I'm pretty sure I should still have an affiliate link for St. Belford, but it doesn't matter. Like both of those brands, I was never gifted any product from them. I purchased things on my own from them, and then eventually reached out, or either they reached out to me when they saw that a video did well, or I reached out to them to see if I can be an affiliate. And so that's how I have a link. But hopefully you found it helpful. And if you are new here and you do not know who I am, I did not introduce myself. My name is Lauren, and on my channel, I like to share tools and tips to help you on your self-care journey. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.